Welcome, Cobras fans, back to the Cobras Corner. James Brown here with Coach Josh Resignalo. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Yes, sir.
We are here after a pretty successful season so far. We're more than halfway past the season, and team's in first place. Got to feel pretty good.
It feels great. We got to keep grinding and just take one week at a time.
So, Coach, so far in the season, what's been your favorite part? What stands out most to you?
I would say probably just the fact that we're in first place and we have a chance to finish out to possibly host a playoff game again, like we did in 2018 and 19. Winning the championship in 18 and just falling short in 19. Having home field advantage is going to be crucial for us, especially if we can finish number one seed. We've never finished as a number one seed, so that'll be pretty cool. So a lot of firsts for the organization this year. So that's probably the most rewarding part of everything so far, just the growth and how we got here and just see the players progress each week. We do have some slip-ups here and there, but that's part of the growing pains and getting to where we need to go. Sometimes you got to take a step back, a couple steps forward or whatever. Following up a loss with a win, and we were able to do that both times. Having Albany as our rebound game, so that's kind of helped us because Albany's a pretty good team. Yeah. We have the tendency to play down to who we're playing against, but we play up against our competition too. So of the guys that are pretty successful. So we just got to find that balance and carry that same path all the way through, and not really worry about who we're playing. And we've been saying that from the get-go, that we're our own worst enemy. And sometimes we get in our own way, and it slipped us up a couple times.
Coach, you've said in the past that this is your favorite theme night, and I know that it's personal to you. And we're going to talk to Coach about Military and First Responders Night and what that means to him. But first, we're going to talk about some of the standout players that we've seen so far this season.
All right, back goes Castronova. Intercepted.
What a
intercepted.
Are you kidding me?
He reached up with one hand and pulled it in. Bain.
And here he goes
Bain
again.
goes deep.
Come on, Ings. Yes, sir.
How do you get any better two plays than that as he celebrates in the end zone?
It's pretty awesome to be able to have quite a few guys to be able to talk about. Some teams have maybe one or two guys that they can speak about, and we got a pretty good group all around every position group. So first and foremost for us, our quarterback position, we were up and down a lot last year, with that spot, and to be able to bring in Bain this year has been, pretty awesome for us all around. It's a quarterback driven league. So if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to be very good. If you have a good quarterback, then you're going to be good. And we do, and we're pretty good. So all of those formulas, work together. And then again, going to up front for us, we were shaky last year with our offensive line. That's a big thing for you, so exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We got the best center in the league with Derek Ziegler. Just guys that we've added, having Deshaun coming back late in the season has been big for us. Tyson Fernandez is new to the Cobras. Guys that have been dabbling around here and there in the game that are helping out, especially with Iron Man, having guys play both ways. Walt stepped up for us on the O-line when need be, when asked. He's a D lineman, he's not offensive lineman. That's so anytime you can get anything from the other side of the ball to help you out has been pretty good. So then you go to our receivers. I think we got the deepest wide receiver group in the league.
I agree.
Jacksonville's got a pretty good sound wide receiver group, core, a couple guys, but for us, we're deep. You can start at the top with DJ Myers, Kendrick Ings, Lance Evans, James Summers, Adam Smith, Joe Powell's helped out, Trey Long has helped out some receivers. So we get 5 to 7 guys deep, and then it doesn't really matter who's in. Really, Bain don't matter. It doesn't really matter to him who he's throwing it to. Overall, it's a good recipe, for us. We have all the ingredients needed, and that's something we were missing last year. So then you jump over onto the defensive side. You got our secondary, up front. Michael Robinson's having a heck of a year for us up front. Larry Ford's probably one of the better pass rushers in the league. Micah's overall probably sound as one of the better defensive linemen as a whole in the league, so it helps to have those guys up front. Zach Brown playing both sides of the ball, linebacker, fullback. All these guys have in some capacity helped other teams throughout the years, and being able to get Zig and ZB and Bane and getting them involved with us has been pretty awesome as a whole. So, and then again with special teams with TC Stevens, he just came off a big win for us, hitting another game winner. I think he had 2 or 3 special teams player of the week so far. He'll probably win it after one of the last games. So we'll see how that goes. And then being a special teams player of the year last year, and then pretty much going where he left off from last season. So we missed him in the Columbus game. One of our losses, but he was ill, so he couldn't make the trip. But he rebounded, coming back the next week, and kicked a big kick for us. To win a game. It's always nice to have a walk-off, anything. So.
Anything, that's right.
Hey, Carolina Cobra fans, I'm Jose Mejia. I'm here with Micah Robinson. Micah, so far you guys are up right now 28-21 against the Empire. You got 4 attempts, 8 yards, and a touchdown. That's the important part right now. So as a defensive lineman, how's it feel to get a rushing touchdown?
It feels very exciting, man. I'm not really used to getting touchdowns, so just getting any kind of touchdown is happy. It made me really happy, so I'm excited about it.
Like I said, right now your team's up. You guys have beaten the Albany Empire twice already this season. This will close out and be the sweep. How are you feeling going into the half?
I feel pretty confident, but I know we got to keep our foot on the pedal and keep fighting, make sure we get this W.
So far, like I said, you guys have been offensively productive. What's been the key to the success since last week against the Columbus Lions?
I just feel like everybody playing together, we're on the same page this week, and that loss last week really motivated us this week to make sure we come out and be on the same page and do our job.
What do you think Coach Trez will say to you guys when you're in the locker room here at the half?
Just keep doing what we're doing, keep our foot on the pedal, and make sure we come out in the second half and in this game.
Cobras fans, we are back here with Terrence Ames, maybe the youngest player on our Cobras team this year. Terrence, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Pretty good season so far, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
And you're fresh out of college?
First season, rookie.
All right. So how you liking it so far?
It's a fun experience. I really didn't know what to expect playing arena coming from outdoor, but I will say it's like more interactive with the fans. Like, I'll say it's more fun than outdoors. Like, there's a lot more you can do versus just playing football. So it's a fun experience, and we win it too, so it's good.
Yeah, and that's always a crazy transition from the outdoor game to the arena game. So it was really exciting way back when I had that transition, so I kind of know what you're going through. You're a lineman, one of my favorites. What position do you play?
I play guard,
okay,
as well as D-tackle because the Ironman rules here, so I play both ways.
All right. Our next home game is going to be military and first responders night, and you have some military in your family. Is that right?
My father was in the Marines, so he said if they were to go to war, he'd have been the person driving the trucks. I don't know what that is exactly, but that's always what he told me. So
okay.
Shout out to my dad.
Your dad may be watching us here. You want to say hello to your dad?
What's up, Dad? We gonna get the dub for you.
Anything special? I'm sure there's something special your dad has taught you to kind of help you as you go through your professional career?
Yeah, basically just, if you're going to do something, take it serious, finish, don't quit. Because, there's a couple times where I was working out, wasn't getting calls at first, right after my season had ended. And I was blessed to get this opportunity. Coach James Fuller, who's the offensive coordinator, granted me with this opportunity. Just, basically keep working. Because, he's a military man, that's hard work itself. So that right there pretty much instilled that in me. Just keep going and do what you got to do for your dreams to be achieved.
And so what goals do you have for the remainder of the season?
Basically, at the end of the day, I want to win a championship. It'd be nice to win the rest of the games too, but I just want to win a championship. That's really it.
So how can our Cobras fans reach out to you? How can they reach you on social media?
Well, my Instagram is traw065, not the O, 065. And anybody else that's got military family, y'all come out to Greensboro Coliseum this weekend. Watch the game. It's going to be a good one.
Appreciate you coming out. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Cobras fans, come out to the legendary Greensboro Coliseum to see all of the National Arena League football action. Start your Independence Day weekend the right way on July 2nd by coming out to support our real heroes on Military and First Responders Night as the Cobras face the Columbus Lions. The Lions return to the Coliseum on July 16th for Country Night to face the Cobras in the last home game of the season. Fans, great ticket packages are still available. Call 455-7232 to join the Cobras on their quest to win the 2022 National Arena League Championship. And remember, if you can catch it, you can keep it.
Now, Coach, I also want to shine some light on your coaching staff, because not only are you doing a phenomenal job this year with managing the game, but you've got one heck of a staff, starting with Coach Fuller and Coach Yarborough, the coordinators you have each side of the ball. But then you've got some pretty awesome assistants right behind those guys. Talk to me a little bit about your staff.
Yeah, just that's one thing we didn't have last year. I'm still doing a lot of stuff now, but last year was even worse because it was just me and 2 other coaches, and then doing everything I'm doing still. So it was important to add more people, bring on guys that could help us be successful for what we're doing. I wouldn't necessarily say all around every coach on our staff would be a head coach at some point, but every coach has their role, what they're doing with us, which is they're learning, they're gaining experience, and eventually they probably will have a chance to be a head coach at some point. But with Coach Fuller, he's been coaching for a long time. He's been a head coach multiple times, multiple teams, and has been successful everywhere he's been. So that was huge for us to bring someone like him to be a part of what we're doing, really to help me on the football side, on the day-to-day stuff, doing the general manager and the business stuff. It's tough, to be able to do all the game planning and the film and the meets and all that stuff. That was important to get him. He's a good friend, so it was a no-brainer to get him here. There isn't any other expansion teams at the moment, so he wasn't going to, leave for that. As soon as we do, he's probably going to be one of the first ones to get a head coach job. So we're taking advantage of what we can now, with what he's got great offensive mind, and everyone forgets he's a defensive coach. So, and a lot like, myself being able to do different things. You can get more people to do more things, and it just adds, as a whole. Anson's played with me for about 4 seasons before coming to the Cobras in 19. Coached with us last year as the DC, taking over. We lead in a lot of defensive categories, so we got a very good defense this year. When we lost the Columbus game, you look back at it, we only gave up 28 points defensively. Everything else came from turnovers and special teams, so that was tough. And then you get our assistants, Coach Burns and Coach Glossinger. They've been around football for a long time, so to get football people like that involved in what we're doing helps. But most importantly for me, they're friends of mine too, so you want to have people around you that have your back and are looking out for you and your best interest as a whole. And I've been in a lot of places where I hadn't had that. When you got to do what you're doing and look back over your shoulder to see who's trying to come up behind you, that's not a fun situation. So
now, and I love those guys because they're the line coaches, right? So you've got Coach Burns, who's got that defensive line, and they are playing phenomenally well, like you mentioned. And then Coach Glossinger's got, my love, offensive line. And like you said, the turnaround from last year, just up front to this year, is excellent. And
so you got quarterback play in the trenches, man. For us, it don't matter who you got running routes or covering if you can't get to after the quarterback or, protect ours. I've always said protect ours, get after theirs. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. And then to round off our assistants with Carmelo Velasquez and Mike Green. Mike Green's one of the best defensive DB minds in the game. He was a great DB himself, so the Cobra fans know exactly about his play. Leading them to a championship in 18, and one of our captains in 19 was a big part of our defense in 2019. Carmelo's been a help on the offensive side. He helps with a lot of other things. I stay on him a lot because he's he grinds out, and so it's one of those things. Just try to stay on him, and I get on him a little bit too much sometimes, but and he'll be the first one to tell you that he's here to do a job, and that's he's learning at the same time. So and he's hungry for for what's to come. This ain't his only time coaching, so he's looking to grow his career and those type things. So overall, it's just awesome to have the help that we have.
Do you ever find it hard to delegate responsibilities and sit back and allow those guys to do what they do so well?
In the beginning, I forced myself to not be involved, so I wouldn't have to worry about that aspect of it. Everyone had their job to do. Some points came up to where that maybe could have bit us in the butt a little bit to where I was a little too much hands-off. So I'm gradually trying to get myself back involved in certain things here and there. Overall, I joke about this to everybody, but I'm a good offensive guy and defensive guy. We've seen everything, through the years. You know me through the years.
Right.
Our 2 losses, though, are when I'm on the field. So knowing that hurts the ego a little bit. So, but that just shows of everything that we have going on, to where our coaches are doing a good job. I don't like not calling plays. That's new, but it was warranted for everything that we have going on. So I don't really care about calling plays. I care about us being successful and winning a championship on and off the field, as far as business and all that stuff. So Rob trusts me with the team and the direction we're going. And
Coach, talk to me about a new owner that we added this year, a friend of ours, former teammate of ours, Theron Davis.
Yep.
Talk to me about him and what he's brought to the team.
Yeah, so being able to add someone local has been a huge plus for us. He's introducing the team to a lot of people that have been in the area, so to speak, but haven't had any contact with the team whatsoever. So when you're able to kind of reach out to different avenues and try to create, more opportunities for business, it's helped out a lot. We got people coming to the games that you wouldn't even have thought of, like P.D. Pablo.
Right.
Every P.D. Pablo's running our touchdown song and whatnot. That's his one of his hits.
Yeah.
And getting him involved early on was pretty cool, and he's done a couple things with us. There's a lot of other people behind the scenes, doing some stuff that Theron's been talking to. So just adding all the different aspects of what we can do has been pretty awesome from an overall business standpoint.
So we heard a bit about the coaching staff. Now we're going to get a chance to meet Coach Burns. This military and first responders night is special to him, as he is both military and first responder.
Coach Burns has more than 30 years as a player and football coach. In 2014, he was inducted into the AFA Hall of Fame as a player. Coach Burns is also a disabled Marine veteran and retired 20-year veteran as a North Chicago police officer. He is currently in treatments for kidney cancer. His commitment to the team and his players has been nothing short of amazing. As he would say, never give up and never surrender. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Coach Rez, our coaches, players, and staff, we present Coach Burns with his own cancer awareness jersey with his football number 95. Keep fighting, Coach. You're in our prayers.
That's awesome for Coach Burns, defensive line coach for the Cobras. Of course, you heard that resume. He's got an awesome resume. That man is amazing.
Now we have joining us with the show, Coach John Burns. Coach, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
You're one of my favorites because you coach the linemen.
I do. Yes, I do.
Defensive line?
Defensive lineman coach, yep.
You've got a lot of talented players out there.
I do.
Who's your favorite? Can I say that?
Oh, I can't really name one, but they're all hands down good men. So.
You're getting really good pressure on opposing quarterbacks. A lot of times we find ourselves saying how that quarterback doesn't have time to set his feet and throw the ball.
Right.
And I think that all comes from your group.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've done a lot of work. We did a lot of work in camp. And like I said, every week we progress, we try to get better. And like I said, you said it yourself, we got a great bunch of athletes up there. So it kind of makes my job easy. I just kind of fine tune some things and they take the cruise control and they make it happen every week. So
yeah. Now you've got an interesting background. Talk to me about your background in football first.
Football, I played from the age of 6 years old. I played for the All-Marine team, and I had a few scholarships coming out of college or out of high school to play for college, but I chose to join the Marine Corps instead because I was tired of playing football. I'd played it, like I said, I was 6 years old, and I was worn out and didn't want to play anymore. And then taking a year off, I missed it so much I decided to try for the Marine team, so made that and played for them. Got out. Played for a few teams, and then 2014 I was inducted into the American Football Association Hall of Fame as a player.
Amazing honor.
Yeah, so
yes.
It was one of the better moments of my football career, so I enjoyed it.
And how'd you get into coaching?
Coaching, well, that's a long story. I couldn't play anymore. The body couldn't take it, and So took a little time off and once again, just missed it. It's something that's in your blood. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. So took a little time off and missed it. And then I got the opportunity to coach with a local team. And from there, kind of just, spread out. And, you yourself knows how that works.
Oh, yeah.
And met a lot of people, got a lot of different opportunities. Coached at the high school level. I've coached professional. And then like I said, I'm now with the Cobras. So, and like I said, Coach Reg is a former Marine, or a Marine, I should say. We're never former. So.
Right.
But, it's just working out perfect.
So now we've heard you're a Marine.
I am.
Right. You're also a first responder.
I was, yes.
So this is a special night for you,
it's like
honoring
it's
you.
Like
it's
like
they're
whammy.
pointing
It's
right
like a
at
double
you.
whammy,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, look at this guy. But it's not really about, per se, just, me being, military and first responder. There's a lot of people that aren't here with us. That this for me, this is what it's about. I'm fortunate enough to be here, and I think about those guys on nights like that. So,
as a Marine, what's a highlight, something that stands out to you in your Marine career?
I mean, I made friends that I still talk to today. I mean, that's obviously the biggest highlight. I did one combat tour, and I was nominated for a Bronze Star with V for Valor, for some actions that I did while I was there. But I would say probably the biggest highlight was the guys I met. Like I said, I still talk to them today. And, obviously about my cancer stuff. And when they found out, I mean, I had guys saying they would come from the West Coast to the East Coast if I needed anything. And and you don't make friends like that for the most part a lot.
Police officer also.
Right. I was
talk to me about that.
I was a North Chicago police officer for 19 years until I was injured in the line of duty. I responded to a call of a suicidal subject, and basically what happened, the guy was on PCP, and he was all wigged out, he was on drugs, and a fight ensued. And at that point, he basically front lunged and kicked my leg, so it kind of broke like a chicken wing. And I went through 6 operations trying to repair it, and they just couldn't fix it. And so they had to replace it. So they gave me the option of retiring early, because I had a good career, I was a good cop. And I'd say some of the highlights were, I saved a couple infants, and that was probably the highlight of my life, to be honest with you. Just to be able to save a child's life is it's incredible, and that way, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that sticks with me today, both in the military, the Marines, and then, obviously with the police force and stuff like that. But I would say that that was the one thing that I said that I'm glad I was here at this time. So
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I noticed a bit of an accent. Figured you weren't from Greensboro.
No, I'm from the north, but my heart's in the south.
There you go. Right.
So, but I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
So,
okay.
That's where I was born and raised. So, I still have that accent a little bit.
Yeah.
Or as you guys would call it, that northern slang. So.
So you mentioned that you had a bout with cancer.
I do. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that and how's that going?
It's it's tough. I have good days, I have bad days. I definitely want to mention my wife. She is 100% my rock. And you were there when she flipped the coin toss. I said I got to get her involved. She's never really done anything like that, and I wanted to get her out there just to have the focus on her. Because like I said, she's an angel with wings. I mean, she takes care of me, on my sick days, and there's been some tough days and there's been some good days, and I've been through a lot in my life, so this is just another bump in the road for me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a good attitude, and like I said, I got a great support system with my wife and stuff, and there's nothing I can't do, you know. And it was kidney cancer, so you know what it was. And like I said, I'm going through chemo right now, and that's pretty rough, you know. But one thing I got to tell everybody, and this is just me telling, is no matter how bad you have it, look around, somebody's always got it worse than you do. You know, when I'm sitting in there for my treatments, you know, I'll look around the room and I'll see that I could have it a lot worse. You know, so I count my blessings every day, and I always remember saying that somebody could always have it worse. You know, and it's a way to go through life. So,
for all of us watching at home, who's heard your story, are there any causes that they can kind of help support in your honor?
But the veterans, there's a lot. There's Till Valhalla, which is an organization that, you know, dedicates a lot of their funds to the 22. And when I say the 22, that's the 22 veterans that kill themselves every day, commit suicide. That's a huge, you know, heartache that can be prevented with the proper counseling and stuff like that. So those any type of causes like that, but the one that comes to mind right away is Till Valhalla. And I would tell people to just, if they want to help out, just get involved. You know, whether it's a walk, you know, for cancer, or if it's a walk for 22, the veterans. Don't be afraid to get out there and actually just get involved. And then another thing too is if you do know a veteran that's having, you know, problems or issues, you know, just reach out to them. You know, just a simple hello, how are you doing today, can change a person from being totally depressed and thinking about suicide to life's not that bad, maybe I'll go out today. And it's the little things that people don't seem to understand, that if you say it or do it at the right time, you can change a person's life. You know, if you know a veteran, if you know somebody that's having problems, even if they weren't a veteran, if you know somebody that's having problems, don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about you today. How's things going? You want to go grab a cup of coffee and just shoot the crap for a while and just be that friend.
Coach, thank you.
It's a pleasure, as usual. Yeah, I loved it.
I know you got to get back to practice.
I do. We want to keep that D-line humming like a well-oiled machine.
That's right.
But I appreciate everything. We'll see you guys. Take care.
First and foremost, I would say I'm a family man. Been married with my wife for going on 15 years now. 2 children. They're my why, so they're my focus for everything that I do to be successful for my family and going forward for our future. I was in the Marine Corps, and my MOS was 1833, which is an amphibious assault vehicle crewman. So you start out as a crewman, and then you work your way up to a crew chief, like a vehicle commander of a section, and was in charge of my own crew. And whenever we'd go on deployments, we'd have 18 combat-ready Marines, infantry in the back. It was a troop carrier, so it was like a tank, and it had a ramp on the back. And so we roll up on a target and drop the ramp, and the infantry guys run out. And then, so that was pretty much what my job was. It's probably one of the best jobs I've had, other than being a football coach. And being, you know, military appreciation and first responders coming up, you know, that's a big deal, you know, for us to be a part of that community and to show our support towards them. So come out to the game, you're gonna have a great time. I always tell the fans, once you come to a game, you'll never miss another one, as long as your schedule allows. And it's very fan-friendly, fast-paced, and you guys will have a great time coming out, so come support. We need to grow that Cobra Nation.
So in our last segment of the show, we're going to talk with Coach Rez about his experience in the military and what that means to him personally. Coach?
Yeah, so, you know, being a Marine is awesome. You know, not too many people can say that. So it's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a Marine. You know, I always tell the story when I was thinking about going in the military and I saw on the window, you know, the Army had a sign-on bonus, the Navy had a sign-on bonus, everyone had a sign-on bonus, but the Marines didn't. So that intrigued me, so I want to know why they weren't offering a sign-on bonus. And the first thing the recruiter said to me is, we don't have to buy you to be a Marine, you got to earn it. And so that to me was pretty impactful by itself. And then the uniform, you know, the uniform was the best out of all of them, and I always try to be the best at everything I do. And so I was like, why not be the best, look the best in the world, best military, best everything. So that's why I wanted to be a Marine. And then, you know, been to combat a couple times. I'm from California, so I actually went to MCRD, San Diego. I was supposed to go to Pendleton. A group in front of me was going to Lejeune from school. They got in trouble for stuff, so our group got bumped to their slot. So we ended up going to Lejeune. I was heated that we had to come to the East Coast. I had never been to the East Coast. I didn't want to go to the East Coast. All my family and friends was at home. But it's been, you know, God does things that you're not expecting, and everything's played out to where it is. You know, I met my wife here. She's from North Carolina, so we actually live where she's from now, in Mount Airy, and 2 kids. So I wouldn't have had any of that if I didn't go into the military. So everything has come full circle from that. Being a Marine and being in the military was awesome. Going overseas a couple times in combat, I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. If I was single, I probably would have stayed in. But being in a combat unit, you don't take time off. So I ended up getting out, but the cool thing about being a Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. So, and everything I've learned from that has helped me with everything I do, from being a father, person, you know, in the community, football coach. Football is the closest thing to the military outside of, you know, law enforcement or something like that. So that's why I've grown so much of a passion for it. I played football in the Marines as well. One of my close friends I played with, he didn't make it coming home from Iraq. So I try to do everything I can with football and bring him along with me with everything I do. And which comes to military first responders night, you know, is a big deal because it honors and celebrates all those who are here but who aren't at the same time. So I take those moments, you know, huge. I got 2 of my platoon sergeants. One of my platoon sergeants and our company master sergeant is going to be at the game coming up. So I've stayed in contact with them, and they freaking think this is the coolest things. And to see guys that you were in combat with and you were leading in battle, to see them kind of doing their thing in life is awesome for them. And I appreciate them, you know, wanting to come be a part of it. And I got some surprises for them too, but they don't know it yet. But as a matter of fact, last year, my company master sergeant, he did a speech for the team and stuff in the locker room and whatnot. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. You mentioned that you've been in combat, and that's the epitome of life or death situation. Has that ever come to mind now that you're back in the civilian world?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it's just like yesterday. It feels like every day. It feels like yesterday. And it's like when you're there and you're in combat, you don't know if it's your time, and you don't got time to think about all that. You just got to do what you can for that day and go along. So just a brief, not anything crazy in combat, but just imagine being at a post and it's your off time, but you're laying up on a ceiling on the roof on a sat phone and there's tracers flying over you. But you got to lay down so you don't get shot, but you're still talking on the phone. You get a chance to call home. You know, so you really don't care what's happening. You get a chance to call home because you don't know if that's going to be the last time you talk to them again or not. So those moments, you really can't look too far ahead in that situation because you might make a stupid mistake or something because you're not thinking of what's in front of you right now. And I kind of do that the same thing in life now. You know, you can't really look too far ahead, but you do want to plan and have goals and all that stuff. But you know, you try to live each day to the fullest because you don't know if you're going to have another day or not. So at first I was a little uneasy with, you know, why me? Why am I to get a chance to come home and other people didn't? And you just, all those things go in your mind, and it's, you know, sometimes you got to slap yourself and, you know, wake up. You know, but that's a daily occurrence. But, you know, overall, I grind as a daily thing for us, you know, being in the military and whatnot. And I just hold on to everything I can, family, football, and it just helps, you know, and to be able to have these games are pretty awesome to recognize everybody.